So, this has been a weird month for me. I've been trying to make a video for the last couple of months, make my videos focus more on themes or some kind of story to tell, and this month it was just kind of a wild one for me. I spent a bit more focused on external obligations that I needed to meet, and some of them were more positive than others. I don't know where I'm going with this. See, normally I try to make my videos a little bit more scripted and cohesive, because I've done my fair share of just trying to cobble something together in the edit. And so I now put a lot more emphasis on the pre-production side and just trying to make sure I have something that's worth filming, worth shooting. And this project's a bit different. Instead of working on it for a month and figuring it out, I'm kind of just trying to film it and complete it in a matter of days. And it's not exactly a simple idea. I shouldn't say that. It's kind of a simple idea in scope, but in order to actually pull it off, the man hours required are a little bit more intense. So I've procrastinated until now. But if you're seeing this and you're seeing the state of the video, you might be wondering, how did we get here? Did a little bit of planning. So this is obviously a mess, not very glamorous, not what YouTubers typically show their audiences, but how does somebody get to this? Well, you start off with not necessarily understanding the intrinsic value. Ooh, this is gonna be freaky. What I'm doing now is gonna touch on one of the later points. So how do we get here? We start off by not understanding the intrinsic value of cleaning. Now, what was I alluding to before? I am not a good speller. I rely a lot on electronic correction. So, don't know if I spelt this right. And how does that tie in with anything else? Fear of failure. You can read. But what does this have to do with this, aside from the spelling? What does cleaning have to do with the fear of failure? Will probably end up like this again. I swear I don't even normally write like this. I'm on camera, so I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. And I don't even know if you can read this garbage. It will probably end up like this again. So why bother? Why bother? Because if I bother/try, and then it just ends up getting back to a state like this, that's failure. We don't want that to happen. So if we don't even set an expectation for cleanliness, then we can't be let down when our room is unclean. See, failure has just about everything to do with expectations. And so sometimes the brain will trick me and say the answer is not to have expectations, because then you can't fail. And if I somehow get over this idea of expectations and a fear of failure, that it might get back to this point, and if I say to myself, well, like, isn't it worth trying? Then my brain likes to go, what even is the intrinsic value of cleaning? I mean, I technically live in this space and have lived in this space for however many months, and it's been like this. And sure, it's minorly inconvenient in terms of occasionally having to step over something or not find something, but am I not just in adherence? Let me try that again. Am I not just in adherence to the law of entropy? Now let's get to maybe the third one here. That's probably the saddest one. I don't even know if you can read this. Hopefully you can. If I could somehow overcome my fear of failing and somehow find an intrinsic value for why I should keep my place clean, and I develop an expectation, which is scary, of keeping my place clean, there's still this interesting thought left that I haven't gone over. And that's that when I'm at somebody else's house, I kind of understand a little bit more about the nature of keeping things clean, except I would say maybe instead of intrinsic, this is also partially extrinsic. I'm at somebody else's house, so I want to make sure I respect their space, keep them happy. When it's my space that I'm responsible for, why don't I care? Am I worth taking care of? For the answer to be yes here, my value can't be tied to an absence of failure. I have to accept myself for who I am, which includes all the successes and the failures together. Otherwise, it's conditional acceptance or conditional love. I started off this video and I didn't script out this part. All I knew is I wanted to think about the idea of cleaning a room and have a writing implement and a writing surface and kind of see where we could go. And we're running into this territory right now because I don't know if this video is going to come together in the final edit, because normally I like to figure all this stuff out before I even film. This might be an absolute monster to try to do anything with. What was this? Did anybody get anything from this? Because that's kind of emblematic of all my videos. I make them so that hopefully somebody out there can be like, ah, that guy gets it. Finally, somebody that has similar issues. I guess this is the part where we need to move on and declutter.
Empty bottles, messy bed, clothes are hanging off the shelf, memories scattered in my head, been a mess since you left, watching screens, closing shades, drinking, eating by myself, haven't left here in days, been a mess since you left, and I've been keeping all your boxes in case you ever wanted to move back in again. But it's been a while and I think I need to clean my room. The space you left inside me too. I'll get your clothes out the drawers and forget your love out the door before I show this place to someone new. I think I need to clean my room. Wash the windows and the paint, get the dust off my chest. Found the letters that I gave you, you didn't take when you left. Oh, you left all of your boxes. I thought you would have wanted to remember when you stayed, but you just threw it all away. I think I need to clean my room. The space you left inside me too. I'll get your clothes out the drawers and forget your love out the door before I show this place to someone new. Think I need to clean my room. See, home ain't wherever I'm with you. It's just where I let you into. I can make it mine again. And just maybe I'll go out next weekend and I'll let someone new in. I'll be glad I said. I think I need to clean my room. The space you locked inside me